that she has to stick with the recipe.
If you put your cake and your grandmother's cake blinded for another person, I think you may not feel the difference, but you feel your grandmother is better because you have a feeling from her. You are expecting always that she's giving you the best thing she has.
I would agree with you. For this reason, you know why evidence in healthcare has to be a meta-analysis of double-blind, randomized, prospective studies, so that you mix the bread here and there, here and there, and then you ask them which one is the one that is made by your grandmother. I assure you that if a lot of people are allowed to do this, they will identify which bread was done by the grandmother. Because she has experience, but you don't know what experience is. In a way, you all know it, but you can't talk about it. All of us know what is time. But if you are supposed to define time, it's going to be something else for a physicist, it's going to be someone else defining it when he's in love. We have a suggestion. What is the experience?
Learning from the mistakes.
She learned from mistakes. No. If you just try to keep on learning from mistakes, it will take you a very long time. You'll probably die before you become healthcare managers if you try to do it in management.
Something pioneer Joe filled here about the way to do it.
That's it. You just hit the nail on there. She knows something and she understands something which I don't understand. Somewhere in the recipe there is, we knead the dough, we make the dough. And I do it differently from my grandmother. You know what is experience? Working with information. You have to understand what kind of information you need for the job. For example, a doctor can smell diabetes if he has a trained nose. But we don't use our senses. And we are unable to get information because we think that all the information is in the recipe. That's why people think that everything is in the guidelines. And if they do it according to guidelines, they will have a good job. You cannot put everything into the guidelines. First, it's emotions. Difficult to code them into the guidelines. And the second thing is tacit experience, tacit information. If you start understanding these things, then you will look, what kind of information do I need to do this job in the most perfect way? And sometimes it's olfactory, sometimes it's tacit information, sometimes it's explicit information, the stuff that is written in a book or recorded on a CD or a DVD or a screen. People always want presentations from someone else. It's the least important thing when we meet. How do you code emotions in a presentation? You can't. How can you say what is kneading the dough? But if you understand that you need it to make a quality product, you will ask your grandmother, please take my hands into your hands and show me how to knead the dough. But if you don't understand, you never ask these questions. So we are not here to know. Knowing is basically useless, not only in medicine, but also in medicine. Nevertheless, medical students come to school and they think that they are there to get knowledge, to know. Is anatomy important for a doctor? Theoretically, yes. They spend 2 or 3 semesters doing it. Why is it important?
To know where's the nerve and where's the artery.
To know where things are. Can you do that in Arabic? You can. You have names for all of these things in Arabic. But in anatomy, they learn it in Latin. The question is why? You know that it is done that way.
To share experience with others, to share the knowledge with others. We don't want to know it ourselves.
That's it.
What everyone knows by the same terminology.
In order to collaborate.
Yes.
So you need a common code so that you can collaborate with someone. Sure. Perfect thinking. We have a language, a new code. I asked you what makes me Alashboric. It's my genetic code. It gives me my identity. You know which code gives identity to a medical professional? Medical Latin nomenclature. It's a common language for medical professionals. Now you use the word culture 20 seconds ago or 2 minutes ago. What is culture? Probably some of you have the Arabic culture, I have, let's say, Central European culture. What is a culture? Habits, values, beliefs. How did they happen? How did I get a different culture from you? How come my culture is different? Different people, different thinking. Yeah, I think differently from you. Because I'm using a different language. You know how you got your culture? Your grandmother used your mother tongue. You started to be expert in your mother tongues. And via this code, you have acquired the whole culture because you could read books, listen to stories, go to theaters, and